Hello ladies and gentlemen and welcome to Mike's Positive Techno World video review. Today we're going to be having a look at a very interesting possible evolution of the Worx wg350. If you remember this from the previous video that I've done, we found out this is the baby chainsaw. This is a 25cm blade and it does, I think it was 2.5, 3.5 meters per second chain speed. We found it was adequate. It was basic entry level, but for the price, it was adequate. It ran on 2 amp hour batteries. It's got its obviously self-fill, its own oiler built in, and it's also got the very awesome patented Worx chain tensioner as well, which we found was very good. I say very good. It was adequate, I think is the best way to put it. At the end of the day, it's an entry-level chainsaw, and what more do you expect from about £130, which it runs in at? So Worx clearly listened to my video, like they probably do everyone, and maybe they had a laugh with most of them, but they clearly listened on that one. So they've brought out this, the Worx wg350. Now, in that, I turned around and said that it'd be really awesome if you turn around and had a brushless version of this, and it'd be so much cooler and better. Well, here it is. This is a 30cm brushless chainsaw. It's no slouch. It's got 10 meters per second, which is nearly 4 times the chain speed of the WG322. Yeah, right. It's also got a brake on it as well now. It's still got the same oiler, I believe. Other than that, I don't really know a lot about it. It's a brand spanking new product, and yeah, let's dive straight in and have a look. Without further ado, come join us. Okay guys, let's just go straight in the deep end. This is an unboxing video, so everything that you're going to see is going to be as much news to me as it is to you. Use the good old-fashioned slice, because it's orange and black, and I love my orange and black stuff. You'll also get to see whether or not it needs any assembly, and if so, I'll have to go through that with you and decide how to assemble it. Inside you've got the usual brief leaflet of various different tools that Worx make, make you nice and jealous and envious. And then in here you'll find your 3 years limited warranty. This isn't a nitro. Is it nitro? It is nitro. So this is a nitro, and this 3 years limited Worx warranty is actually out of date. So you actually now get a 5-year warranty with this. Really quite cool. All you need to do, you get standard 3-year warranty with it, and then you just need to register it and you get a 5-year warranty. So yeah, that's out of date, despite it being a brand new product. It came in effect the 1st of July, I believe. You also got the instruction manual for the charger. I've covered that in a separate video. You've also got information on how to operate a chainsaw effectively, how to overbuck, underbuck, get rid of twigs, branches properly, how to obviously do a chuck or a blocked fell by taking a wedge out the back of it, and then driving a wedge in the taking a wedge out the front and then driving a steel wedge through the back to pivot on that point to try and get it to fell exactly the place you want it to. You've got all the usual parts. I'm not going to bore you guys and go through obviously with it, obviously because it's chainsaw. You've got a bar, you've got a chain. I'm probably going to have to, by the looks of it, show you the installation of that as well. You also got how to tighten it, but I'll show you that, and how to operate it as well. I'm going to do a little bit of a more interesting sort of one. I'm going to actually do some more harder woods and see how it handles the harder woods rather than just doing some standard, like, softer hardwoods. These are some pretty extreme stuff. I've got some Opepe and some Greenheart wood featured before in a previous video. I'm going to go through it with that. So yeah, you got all the parts in here, all the do's and don'ts. It's really important when operating chainsaw that you use proper safety equipment, so please do read this and take heed of it, because you only get one set of limbs in life, and yeah, they ain't going to grow back. I can tell you that much for now. And also a brief, I really would say it's an idiot's guide to the, what happens if it's not doing this, what happens if it's not doing that. Oil leakage, residual oil always is. kickback brake run, brake does not stop chain, contact service agent, no oil in reservoir, refill it, vents clogged, clean it, oil passages clogged, I assume clean it, yeah, sure. Chains over tension, adjust chain tension, dull chain, sharpen chain, it's real, your troubleshooting is very, very simple on that. Chainsaw operates intermittently, check the battery, make sure it's not overheating, usual stuff. It really is. There's not a lot to it. Then the certificates of authenticity, certificates of conformity. Get my words right. And it is worth noting that statistics on this, which I've quickly glossed over. Whereabouts have they gone? It's going to be before that, but after the instructions. I guess I actually see them here. No, not there. We go. Right, statistics of the 30 centimeter chain bar with a 10 meters a second chain, oil tank capacity of 140 mil. The chain pitch is 0.95 centimeters. Number of chain drive links is 45 links, and the chain gauge is 1.1 millimeters. The replacement chain, if you want to get one, is a wg350. If they do have one that I know where I can find one, I'll put a link in there for you guys. It weighs 3.23 kilos without a battery. With battery, it weighs in at 3.9 kilos. And included in this, somewhere, he says, over the rainbow, some packaging, a 2-amp charger, a 4-amp PowerShare Pro battery, which is the WA3644. 3644? Interesting. So I'm not really sure what's happened here, because that number didn't really ring a bell to me. And it comes with a WA3644 battery, and I've got an older PowerShare Pro battery, which is a WA3014. What's the difference? None. They're both about the exact same. The vents are slightly more ergonomic, maybe, on the former bed. That's another thing for another video, though, realistically. It is very, very slightly different. Yeah. Make up your own mind. That is a very slightly different battery. Nice little bit of innovation. And, of course, my eagle eyes spotting that. Got to give myself credit. But yeah, I'll put that on charge. We're going to be using one of the older batteries because I really don't think there's anything different. They're slightly more squarer, I think. But either way, let's not dwell too much on batteries. It's more videos for the future, I think. Right, so included in here is the chain and bar. Chain and bar is, I hope, tried to be latched on. It has tried to be, but you got the cover as well. I'll put this to one side. It's not a branded cover. The previous one with the wg322 was branded with Worx written across here. This isn't. I don't think it really affects it, but it's just a point of note. So obviously you can see this is a branded Worx Nitro. I believe this is actually an Oregon bar. I'm pretty sure Worx get Oregon to make all their bars, pretty much like every manufacturer probably in the world, if you started looking into it, gets Oregon to make their bars for them. And that is just Worx branded Oregon bar, I dare say. Blades are like razors. Be careful when you're doing this. I highly recommend you put on a pair of gloves. I'm not going to be, because I want to be able to show you the dexterity and be able to do it for you with ease, but please do take your safety seriously and potentially think about investing in a set of cut resistant gloves. So here we have the main body. Interestingly, this is the first Worx chainsaw with metal buck spikes. They've normally got the plastic bumper. This has got metal buck spikes. Is that something to do with its huge amount of power? I don't know. I'm about to find out, I suppose. Pull to start. Oh, that's a very positive brake. So normally this is quite spongy, like on the WG385. This is actually very... It almost feels like you're operating a switch. Very on-off. You're never going to get confused with that. I can say much for Nout. So yeah, the pull back will obviously engage the brake, and the push forward will stop it. I tell a lie, that's the wrong way around. Try to do that again. Of course you're going to, Mike. So obviously, if you want to start the chainsaw, you pull forward, and if you want to stop the chainsaw, you push forward. Let's do it one more time. Ready? 3, 2, 1. You can cut here and then start. The brake on this is very, very simple. It's currently in brake mode. If you want to release the brake, pull it back, and then that releases the brake. If you want to engage the brake, push forward, and then that engages the brake. It's really, really simple. It's not too complicated at all. Looking around onto the side, very large brushless motor. I hope that's not actually the size of it. Sometimes these caps twist off. This one doesn't, and you can actually see the back end of the motor there, just for cleaning out some of the dust and debris that might get in there. This one doesn't, but you can see the vents inside. It's got a very large fan on the back here, and that probably is quite a large brushless motor, hence the reason they provide you with a 4-amp battery. Right, let's get rid of this tag on here. I'm gonna leave my slice again. Where's my slice gone? Where's his slice gone? There's my slice. Okay, so to install the chain, it's going to be really, really quite simple. I just hope I get this on camera right. We're just going to undo this sort of like orange fly nut on the side here. This also does your chain tension when you do it back up. We're going to make sure that we install the chain in the correct direction. That's going to be the actual blade, which is the large ridge at the back, with the sort of tapered bit at the front. So tapered bit at the front, large sharp bit. So if you run your finger across there, you can feel that's very, very sharp there. That's the cutting blade, and you want that at the back. And then you just want to pull this taut, and then try and get the camera angle right so you can actually see it. You just want to lay it over the back. And sort of pull it as you go, and then lay that in the groove. You can see there's a groove there. A real bad angle, I do apologise. So there's a groove there. You just want to make sure that sits in there. Pull the chain around the 3-edge drive sprocket there. Just hold that in. You're probably best just to lean the chain on the ground, alleviate any pressure on it. Put the cover over the top. There's a couple of locating lugs that will line in place. Okay, and then we are starting to do up the chain tension. It's probably a little bit too much. You want to get the chain tension just right, so that kind of moves forward and backwards on its carrier. And you can see, as I do that up slightly tighter, it takes up more of the tension and more of the slack. The amount of slack depends really on your flavour, if you like, of how you like your chainsaw blade. I like mine fairly tight, so I'm just going to pull the blade slightly further forward, and then as you do this up, it will increase the tension on it, and you should just, in the middle there, where it's about the middle of the word nitro, between the Worx and the nitro, pull it down, and it should leave around about a 3mm gap. If I grab a vernier, I can make a bit of an idiot of myself on YouTube and go, I think that there is about 3mm. It's 4. Yeah, see, bit of an idiot. A little bit tighter. About 3.4. Give it another of a little twiddle, I think is the best way to put it. You've got a good amount of slack there. Now this is pre-oiled from factory. Let's put those away. But you do need to fill up the reservoir. To fill up the reservoir, it's quite simple. I'm just going to put the chain guard on, just so I don't accidentally slice my fingers whilst waving them around, trying to point at various bits and pieces. Okay, we're just going to take the oil cover off. There's no toggle or anything like that, so just make sure you keep hold of the cap. And then we're going to get some chainsaw oil. Chainsaw oil that I'm using is special from Screwfix. It's like a Home Depot if you're from the States. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to try. You see, I've put a small hole in the end here. That's to try and limit how much oil comes out, so it doesn't come out in one great big gulp. I'm just going to slowly fill that up. The thing about these reservoirs is they can be quite tricky to judge when they get in full. And obviously the rate that I'm pouring this at, it's going to seem quite slow. I'll probably end up speeding up in post-production. Here it comes. Always make sure you put your cap back on firmly. Take this cap. You can see the oil's nicely leveled there. Do that firmly, but not overly tight. Obviously, it's plastic on plastic, so it's going to have a breaking point somewhere along this line, okay? So, once you've done that, you are literally ready to chainsaw. But of course, you're not. You're not because you need some safety gear, and if you don't have any safety gear, please consider getting some. It will keep not only you safe, but it will also keep, obviously, your family safe from worrying about you potentially as well. I bought off of Amazon. Other brands are available. This is made by Rockwood. No K in Rockwood, just Rockwood, however you pronounce it. This is a very basic forestry helmet. It is actually what's it called? CE rated, believe it or not. Even the mere price of I think it's about £15 I paid for this, and it does come with some hearing guards, earmuffs if you like. They do actually snap in place and snap off, and the visor is a plastic ridged metal. It's like film if you like. It's like a very, very fine mesh, and that fine mesh just protects any chips or anything like that going in your eyes. It will not substitute the need for potentially a set of goggles like so. These will help keep you even more safe because they're completely encompassed. I do highly recommend that you put some form of safety gear on, especially hearing as well. Even though it's an electric chainsaw, don't let it fool you. It can still be quite loud. Okay, right, with all that safety stuff out of the way, let's go have a look at some of the challenges that it's going to face. I'm not going to put it through the normal bits and pieces because I think they're quite boring, I think, for you guys. So I'm just going to go extreme. This is a piece of Opepe. It's written there because I might forget what it's called. This is a block that I got from MJ Elliott's lumberyard. It's my local lumberyard that I use. It's quite large, this piece of wood. How large is it? No idea. It's quite large, this piece of wood. It's 6 inches by 6 inches. It's quite big. Opepe is one of the harder woods on the spectrum, if you like, of wood hardness. It depends on how you judge wood on its hardness, whether you're looking at linear grain, cross grain, etc. This is a cross grain which is very, very tight. You can see here Obviously, it's got a few shakes and various bits and pieces running through it. But on the back side here, you can see the gouge marks actually from, ironically, it was a mains powered chainsaw that actually went through this. Originally, it took about 2 minutes. So I know this is going to be a challenge for a battery powered model. And then if that isn't bad enough, back once again on the Renegade Master. Oh. I have my lump of Greenheart wood. I've never tried cutting this. I tried screwing into it with the wg350. That was a challenge. I've no idea what's going to happen to this. Hell World might turn around and end. No, it won't. But it will certainly be interesting to see whether or not it manages to get through this lump of Greenheart. It's one of the hardest woods that you can regularly get hold of. Greenheart wood is, and I bought it specifically for the purpose of testing things, screws, chainsaws, cutting implements, etc. that claim they're really sharp and really, really good. And it should show the men from the boys on this. Greenheart wood. This lump here, by the way, weighs somewhere in the region around about 30 kilos. It is, it's about, I don't know, probably near about 60 pounds. It's tiny. So it's tiny. It's just over 2 foot by 9 inches by 6 inches. And we're going to cut through it on the 6:9 ratios. It's going to go 6 inches across and 9 inches down, just to well, just to see whether or not the what it's really made out of. All right. So without further ado, let's just crack on outside and put some safety gear on. Come join me outside, and we'll see how this cuts. Okay, guys. Without further ado, let's go through. Cut number 1. This is the Opepe. Wow. Well, it sufficiently impressed me, I can say that much. Make from that what you will. However long that was measurable in a very short space of time. Let's switch it up and let's stick some Greenheart wood on it. I mean, seriously, that is butter-like smooth for a chainsaw cut. Okay, after having taken on the Opepe, the battery is still showing 5 bars. Let's see how it handles the Greenheart wood. Yeah, that's not bad, I don't think. Do you want to see it one more time without it stopping? Because I put too much force on it. Forgot it's a tool. Of course you do. Of course you do. Right, let's go one more time. Greenheart wood versus the Worx wg350. Next. Yeah. Let's take it back inside for a wrap up, I think. So, ladies and gentlemen, the Worx wg350. What do I think about it? Well, you've seen for yourself what it can do, okay? I think this is almost WG385 brushless 40-volt power. It's insane, if I'm honest. I should really have turned around and done a side-by-side comparison with the WG350 and the WG385. It's ludicrous. There's no other way of putting it, really. It's losing the amount of power. Dare I say it's too much power? Is so much thing as too much power? Yeah, potentially there is. That's really, really powerful for a 20-volt brushless chainsaw. That's really powerful. I think Worx should turn around and make more brushless stuff, especially in the chainsaw range. Jesus, if that's what they're going to do, yeah, please, Worx, go ahead, make more stuff. Make a pole saw that's brushless powered. Technically, they already do that in 2 times over, but yeah, no, seriously, a nice dedicated pole saw, I think, that £150 price mark or thereabouts, I think will suit the market really, really well. A little bit of a hopeful ploy there. No, I don't know. Sometimes somebody out there must listen, because I swear to God they wouldn't get these ideas unless they listen to my videos. But no, yeah, it's amazing. I really, really love it. I really love how much innovation and how far forward Worx have come. I also love the fact being the battery fit. Yeah, I am absolutely in love with the WG350. Again, like I said, Worx just seems to be going from strength to strength with their products, and this is another example of Worx bringing out an absolutely premium product. I'm pretty speechless. There you go. That's your wrap up. I'm speechless how good this is. Now, if you're after a chainsaw that's 30 centimeters that can go for a Greenheart wood, oh, and the battery status, I'm sure you're going to want to know. Where is it? That one. It's 5 bars and has been since I've done that. Both those cuts didn't really take anything out of it. I don't suppose you'd really expect it to take anything out of it, to be honest. But yeah, it didn't touch it. And to be honest, that Greenheart wood, that is probably one of the toughest woods you'll ever come across. Doing soft woods and pine and stuff like that, it's never really going to be a challenge for a chainsaw, let's be honest. But hardwoods, really, really fibrous hardwoods like Greenheart wood, Opepe, and potentially some things like mahoganies, ash, apple woods as well. They're quite hard. It's just going to go through them a breeze. Yeah, like I said, that's my view and opinion on it. By all means, go and make your own. But I'm really, really impressed with it. Again, it's another 10 out of 10 product. But then what do you expect from Worx these days with their nitro range? See, like I said, guys, like, comment, subscribe. I really do appreciate all the support and appreciation. Thank you. I'll see you again in the next video. you.